welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing another what's for dinner. So this week I challenged myself to spend absolutely nothing. So we made everything with what was already here. Now the very last dinner was a little bit of a challenge because we had no eggs and no milk by then, but we had a donation from the church that they had eggs and milk that they were giving out, so we still didn't even spend nothing, yay! So that was that. So basically every day this week I cooked. There's four dinners? Or is there five? There's 4 dinners. So yeah, there's 4 dinners on this video. All cooked from scratch, all cooked from stuff that I had in the fridge, in the freezer, in the pantry, cabinets, whatever. So relatively cheap. So for anyone who's looking for any help in that department, because I know there's been a lot of shortages lately, right before we got that donation of eggs and milk, I had went to the grocery store to get it, and our grocery store was completely out. So I was like rushing last minute to figure out what I was gonna do. We got like a cup of milk from Dunkin' Donuts because I'm like, okay, maybe I can make this work for dinner. And then literally that same evening, like the church called and they were like, hey, we have like extra eggs and milk if you guys need. And we're like, oh, we need it. So there's that. I know a lot of people are struggling right now with the shortages and, you know, just everything in general right now is just not great. So I kept that in mind for this week's What's for Dinner, and I hope you guys really find this helpful. Just to come up with some creative ideas with stuff that you probably already have in your house. So let's get into this video. Alright, so for Sunday, I legit did not know what to do until like 11 o'clock. But I had this stewed beef in the freezer. I had thawed it out the night before, and I seasoned it and cleaned it. It's just a bunch of different seasonings that I typically would put on beef. I had like half of a yellow pepper and half of a red onion that I chopped up, and then a couple of potatoes and some baby carrots, and I'm just dumping all that into my crock pot and kind of just wishing for the best. I was really honestly like winging this. I had like literally no direction. I just kind of knew, you know, what I wanted to put in there. This was just kind of cleaning out whatever vegetables and stuff I could find to kind of compile some sort of dinner. So yeah, I have all of that, and I'm just dumping it in there and just living on a prayer, basically. Also in the freezer, I found this large pack of mixed vegetables, like towards the back of my freezer. I know that I got it sometime during the summertime, and I had used most of it and then completely forgot about it as the bag got smaller, as that does happen. And so, yeah, I kind of just threw some of that in there and then saved like a little bit for another meal, not knowing exactly what I was going to do for the rest of the week. And I'm also throwing in a packet of brown gravy mix from Aldi's, and I think I also threw in some water with the beef bouillon cubes, and it kind of made like some sort of a beef stew. But anyways, I threw all that together and I put that on my crock pot on low. I was home, so I watched it, and I think it was in there for about 5 to 6 hours before I went back and checked it again. Alright, so this is when I checked it. You see it looks all nice. Off camera I did add some flour and water mixture to kind of thicken it up because it was more of like a beef stew, so that's kind of just what I went with. And I let that sit in my crock pot for another 30 minutes just to fully thicken up, but this is what it looked like afterwards. And this is how plates looked. This is mine. I just put it over top of some white rice. Obviously Zuri's plate was separated because we know her by now. But yeah, this was dinner. It wasn't bad. It was good. We had plenty of leftovers of this. So if you're going to go with a cheap meal, I would really highly suggest this. Alright, so Tuesday I just kind of went through what I had sitting in the vegetable drawer in my fridge, and I found some potatoes that were actually about to go bad soon, so I'm very thankful that I found them. So I'm just slicing those up really, really thin. And I also had some onion that was just sitting there from a couple of recipes that I probably used it for or whatever. And I'm going to chop that up, and I'm going to basically fry this up kind of like fried potatoes. And if you saw last week's What's for Dinner, you saw that I did a failed pierogi casserole that I only did half of the recipe, so I did still have half of a pack of cheddar brats. And I really didn't know what I was going to do with it when I did notice that I still had half a pack, but I figured while I was thinking about these potatoes that I would just chop that up and put them in there and kind of make like a potato sausage skillet dish. I mean, I really honestly don't even know what to call it. Hashtag struggle meal, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, that's basically what I did for Tuesday. I didn't really do too much to it. I kind of seasoned it a little bit, not on camera, but with some salt and pepper and I think paprika and onion powder. I would have loved garlic powder, but at the time I did not have any garlic powder. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I just kind of threw some olive oil in a pot and fried all that together, and that was it. So this is how plates looked. Nobody was mad at all about this meal. It was actually probably one of our favorites this week, surprisingly enough. It was really, really good, and me and Gio put ketchup on it. Zuri obviously would not do that, but yeah, this was really good, and I actually highly suggest this if you're looking for a really quick, easy, cheap meal to make for your family. So on Wednesday, Giovanni found me these 2 chicken breasts that were sitting in the freezer for like forever. We also had this bottle of Parmesan garlic sauce from, I think I bought it from Aldi, but it's the Buffalo Wild Wings sauce, and I instantly thought about that recipe that's going around on TikTok and on Pinterest, where you just kind of throw that into a crock pot and cook up the chicken and then add in some pasta. I also added some milk to the bottle and then shook it up and poured that over top as the directions go. And I only had half of a block of cream cheese, which I figured was good enough because I really honestly don't like adding cream cheese into any crockpot recipe. Like, I feel like that's totally played out and overdone, and it's just, to me, I personally don't like it. I think it really is just nasty. So the less I have to use it, the better. But I threw all that in there and I set my crock pot on low, and I cooked that for around 3 to 4 hours. It actually cooks up really, really quickly. After that was done, I just had some rotini noodles that were sitting around in the cabinet, and I shredded up the chicken and cooked the rotini noodles, sorry, and added that all together, mixed it, and I had like 1 head of broccoli left over from when I made broccoli cheddar soup the other day, and roasted that up in the oven, and it was like such a quick, easy meal, and I'm so thankful that I actually had that wing sauce left. I was supposed to make wings out of it a while back, but I never got around to doing that, and so I had completely forgot that that was even sitting in my cabinet until I looked. So here you see me mixing all that together. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, it's a hands-off recipe. It's just kind of like a dump and go crock pot recipe, and it's actually really delicious. Alright, so here's what plates look like. These are the kids' plates. So Gio obviously has like a lot, Zuri has a little bit. Oh, we had a win this day because Zuri ate some broccoli, and I'm so proud of her. So, yeah, everybody liked this meal. Zuri actually requested that I don't make the pasta again because it was a little bit spicy. So I will suggest, if you have little kids, to add a little bit more milk or a little bit less sauce because it is actually a little bit spicy. So Thursday, I found this red beans and rice one-pot meal mix in my cabinet. I also had a couple of these grilled chicken breasts left over and barely any onion. So I thought, hey, let's make a one-pot red beans and rice meal. So I kind of just followed the directions on the box, chopped up the chicken breasts and sauteed the onions and mixed it together, let it cook. This is what dinner looked like. Pretty simple. It does have directions directly on the back of the box. I did buy this at Walmart. If anyone is interested, it's actually relatively cheap. I think I bought the family size box for like $2.50. The chicken was left over, and you can use sausage or whatever. So, pretty decent meal. So now on to Friday, which was like my most creative day ever. So basically I had some chicken breasts in the freezer, and I kind of chopped those up to look like nuggets. I thought I had a clip of that before I started this clip, but I guess not. So this is my eggs and milk that I got from the church. I had that put in a bowl, and I just seasoned it with the various seasonings, and I'm just gonna mix that together and pour that over top of my chicken so that my chicken can kind of like soak in it / have like some sort of mixture for when I start breading it. But essentially I had a bunch of cornflakes in the cabinet. We don't really eat cornflakes too often, but we were given it by a family member, and so I had to figure out something to do with it. So believe me, you guys are gonna see a couple of recipes coming up with cornflakes. But yeah, I thought, you know, cornflake breaded chicken. I don't know why I thought of it, but that's just kind of what came to mind. I mean, the creative juices kind of just flow. Okay, so I just noticed that some of my clips have actually disappeared from my camera roll, but that's okay. I gave the kids Ziploc bags full of cornflakes to crush up, and so that's what they did for me, and now I'm just breading the chicken pieces in the cornflakes and laying them on a baking sheet that I sprayed with some cooking spray. And yeah, I just repeat that with every single one until they're all coated and ready to go in the oven. And I cooked these in the oven on 350, I want to say for maybe 30 minutes. I don't really remember, and I wish I would have wrote it down somewhere because I knew by this point I would not remember, but I never remember that I'm not going to remember. It's a struggle. But I also paired this, again, I'm missing so many clips, but I paired this with a box of scalloped potatoes that I added some leftover bacon bits that I had in the cabinet and some leftover shredded cheese that I had in the fridge. And yeah, it was a pretty creative meal, but it was pretty quick and easy and definitely cheap because a lot of this stuff you already have in the house. So this is what dinner looked like. Those scalloped potatoes were amazing. And the kids said the chicken looked like Popeyes, so it was hilarious. I had some barbecue sauce, some ranch, and some Chick-fil-A sauce, so they were able to pick and choose their dippings. And yeah, that was, it was delicious. I don't even have a clip of my plate, which I normally have, but like I said, like all my stuff disappeared and I don't know what happened. But yeah, that was dinner for Friday. It was amazing. Okay guys, so I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And we will see you guys in the next video. Bye everybody. Bye.